And what is up, guys? We are playing more Majora's Mask. Of course, I am KrisKringle, joined by once again KrisKringle. So, we got stuff to do, and we're surrounded by Poes all over this dang place. Let's just shoot these guys with... Oh, wow, thanks. Thanks, man. Oh.
Dawn of the second day, 48 hours remain. There we go.
And just for the heck of it, let's catch this this Poe. Doesn't seem like it's a big Poe, but it could still be something of a net worth. Yeah, it's just a regular ass Poe. Alright, nothing else in this room. So... I also, if memory serves me right, I think that's the last of the stray fairies we'll be getting for a while in this temple. So, keep that in mind when you're running with here. Also, for this area, this is another use for the stone mask. You'll see why in a sec. So in this area, upside down, there's these guys hanging around.
Death Armos, a temple guard. Look at the red mark on its chest. I know I've seen something like that before.
It's supposed to be like, look like the jewel a bit. When you shoot with a light arrow, it twists it upside down, and then you can just flip it over and over again. They're pretty tough enemies if you don't have the... Oh, what the heck? Come on, put my mask on, yeah. If you have the stone mask on, they leave you alone, pretty much.
I never thought to use the stone mask in this room.
You really? You never...
No.
Oh. Interesting. I always use it. Makes it easier.
Huh. Interesting, though, that we're back in one of the earliest rooms of the temple. This late in.
Yeah. Let's just press the switch. Ha-oo, wahi, ha-ho-ho-ho.
Not what I was going for, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't read your mind. Or tell what you were humming. Either or. It'd be cool if the stone mask was implanted on the... Like,
yeah,
each individual mask would be implanted on the...
That would be really cool. It'd be a lot of work for the devs, but...
Yeah. Small key.
Just stick a heartless statue with the, Oh, what is it? The, Kamaro mask in front of the girls in Clocktown.
Alright, yeah. Anyway. Now in this area. Let's see here. I want this. A lot of use for the Deku mask. Let's just shoot these mines. Or shoot these mines.
There we go.
Almost completely in sync. And we're in this room now. Interesting. Like, it's really cool just to, like, explore... Oh, damn.
Hi.
Gotta have those enemies back, I guess. Staple. To see, like, the different rooms in a different perspective. It's pretty cool. From a certain point of view. So, like, with the light arrows, these guys are no problem at all. And these guys have a connection with my primary money growing network when I do grind for rupees, because they give you 50 each per light arrow kill. And it's pretty easy. But yeah, there's more specifics to it that we'll get to later. Also, looks like another mini boss. Chock full of them. Pretty freaky looking.
It's Gomez. There'll be no end to it if you can't get those bats away from it. Does that shed any light on the situation?
Does that shed any light on the situation?
This bot is This boss is batshit crazy.
Yeah, man. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's pretty simple for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kinda, sometimes you'll just phase through his attacks for some reason. Pretty weird.
Oh. I love what Green Scorpion said of it. This guy way back in one of his early countdowns of top 10 scythe wielders, he referred to that scythe spinning attack as a scythe routine he learned in the Glee Club.
Alright, and with that, look what it unlocks for us. A familiar chest, which can only yield one thing.
A Deku Scrub.
Yeah, look at that, we fit in it.
We get the boss key.
Hell yeah. So now it's pretty much, we got a pretty clear run towards it, it seems. But we just slowly need to find our way to it. Because so far, nothing's really led us to that way. Jeez, the lag. Yeah, look at that. 50 easy pops. Alright, now let's head back to that room I skipped that was over by the... Oh, jeez, I should probably shoot those guys first before I
That might be a good idea.
Or, come on. They have interesting hitboxes to say the least.
Yeah.
That guy just chilling.
The Igor up there.
Yeah. A hint to things to come. Man, spoilers? Holy heck, man. Alright. So yeah, in this room now. I should also need to get the stone mask out because I'll need it for this next room. So right here is like the first room, but upside down. This makes pressing the switch a lot easier with the stone mask.
Yeah.
And look at that right there.
Doesn't killing this particular Dark Armor spawn something though?
I don't think so.
I thought it did.
Man, I can't really kill these guys, I don't think.
Yeah, you do. You flip them and then make them stomp into the ground.
Oh. But see, that's the thing. I never needed to kill them. That's why I don't know how to kill them. Because I just use the stone mask all the time. But anyway, we don't need to do that. Because we can just zip line our way up here pretty easily. Right there, yeah.
Whee!
You.
Failed.
We already made that joke, man.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you see, like, Relax made a new video about, like, how the Wii U failed and
yeah,
stuff?
I
and,
saw
like,
that.
But brought up the good points to it. Also, look, it's another fight with Igor. I see you. Uh oh. The shield doesn't work on that, so he's packing more of a wallop this time. But still same strategy to beat him.
Yep.
Just shoot him with some light arrows. These guys are pretty tough if they can take that many light arrows. Usually, light arrows are one-shot kill.
Yay!
We did it, guys!
The one time we weren't even really trying.
Yeah. But what could it be? Another dungeon item? How could it be? It is!
The Giant's Mask. Within this mask lies the might of a giant. But can you use its power anywhere?
Nope. It can only be used in very certain areas.
Yeah. In the remake, that does not actually spawn there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And look at all these chests spawning out of our reach. How... Oh, whoops. How annoying, isn't that? And... Yep, right there. Oh. Ah. That was a close one.
Yep. Just barely clutched it.
And look at this.
The boss door.
Alright, that guy. And that guy. And that guy. So yeah, we can... Let's put this in our inventory right now. Because I say that's a wise choice.
Indeed.
And... Geronimo! That looks like the Eye of Sauron. Never noticed that before.
Dun dun dun.
Giant mask insect twin mold. The 4th dungeon boss. And quite possibly the simplest one to beat. All you have to do, so with this mask, put it on. And it destroys the frame rate. Or not right now at least.
Yeah.
And you pretty much just wail on it, either right its neck or on the tip of its tail are the spots to hit. The other parts are too protected.
Yeah. This boss is completely different in the remake, probably more so than any other boss in the game. You, like I mentioned, you don't get the Giant's Mask right away, like you do here. So you start off the fight at your normal size. And the blue snake will have eyeballs along its underbelly that you have to shoot with the bow and arrow. Once you shoot out all of its eyes, it will fall to the ground, and its mouth will open up to reveal the big eye that all the other bosses had. Attack that a bit, and eventually it'll go back up. Do that 2 or 3 cycles of that, and eventually it'll blow up just like this one here did, leaving the red one. Upon killing the blue one, a chest will spawn in the center platform with the Giant's Mask, which you must then equip to take on the red one, who has a gemstone in, or like a weak point in his tail that you must attack to make him fall down. And you grab his tail, and it does a little cinematic of him like spinning Twin Mold around like WWE style, and then slamming him into the ground.
It's awesome, honestly. Like, it's fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, it's cool, but it takes a lot of hits to make him break down.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they give you a large boulder that you can pick up and throw that helps to do a lot of damage, but I believe it breaks eventually. Either that or I always throw it out of bounds somehow. One or the other. But yeah. And also, the Giant's Mask. It consumes magic while you wear it, so that's another reason why the Chateau Romani is really important.
Yeah. The pillars can drop magic that you can destroy, but it's still recommended to have the Chateau Romani.
Yeah. And just while we're finishing this off, I mentioned that I had a bit of a story about this place. But, well. I'll wait a bit then.
Yeah, there'll be time.
Yeah. Because you might notice that we beat the boss, but we don't have all the stray fairies yet.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind.
It's the first time that's happened.
Man, what a workout. Where are you?
I don't know if we've pointed this out before. We might have, but after you beat a boss and you remain in the temple, the clock stops.
Oh yeah, I don't think we've really brought those up. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess because it sometimes takes a while to get back to it, maybe.
Yeah.
You seize Twin Mold's remains. You have just freed the innocent spirit that his dark mask had kept in prison within the body of evil Twin Mold. Whew.
Well, we've helped all of you. That's all we can do. Call us. Call us, that's what they're saying. Without being told, we understand. So now you'll help us in exchange? We'll call you from atop the clock tower, so do something about him, alright? What? Their voices sound sad. You don't want to? Forgive your friend. Forgive our friend? What do you mean by forgive? What friend? And on that ominous note, we're dropped back into Econa Canyon.
So call me maybe.
God damn it.
And with that, I'm going to, since we don't have all the fairies, I'm going to actually go back to Stone Tower so I can achieve the remaining fairies that we did not get. And while I'm doing that, you can tell your story.
Precisely. So, my first time playing through Stone Tower Temple, on my first time, I knew that some of the stray fairies were kept afterwards, but I ended up actually going out beforehand and flipping it to get the last of the fairies, and then flipping it again to go to the boss. However, after getting all of the fairies that you need to flip one more time for, I was still missing one. And I could not for the life of me figure out where it was. And I really had my mind set on getting all the stray fairies without using a guide.
Yeah.
So, I was running around the circles in the temple for, like, I started a fresh cycle to begin the temple. Like, I got to the top of Stone Tower in the previous cycle, set the owl statue, and then reset time. And I got basically to the boss door by, I think, before noon of day 2 at the very latest. I spent so long running circles around the temple trying to find the last stray fairy that by the time I finally found it, and it was in that room that I said always gives me trouble with getting lost, that's where the one I was missing was. When I finally found it, I was on the night of the 3rd day. So, come the time I found my way, and then I had a hard time finding my way back to the boss, which is funny because it's in the same room, but I left the room by mistake. And so by the time I got to the Twin Mold fight, I was in the final hours. Mm-hmm. And I had a hard time, and like I mentioned, he takes a lot of hits in the remake because of the change to the mechanics, and the animation of the swinging is kind of lengthy. So I kid you not, by the time I defeated Twin Mold, there was less than an hour left. I finished the cutscene, and like, instantly, like, I think I had like half an hour left, and I just tried, like, I just made it to the fairy fountain. And, like, I think I literally had, like, 5 minutes left by the time I got the stray fairy, the Great Fairy's ability for this temple. And then just instantly reset time. And by the time I was done that, I was just kind of sitting there, staring at my 3DS, like, holy fuck, that was close.
Yeah. I remember you telling that story, and it's just...
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, jeez. Almost as close call as we had that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, first one that we missed is... Oh my god. Screw off. Light arrows have quite a bit of a recoil on them.
Yeah.
It takes a while to reload because the animation takes so long.
Yeah. Speaking of the final hours, though, I think I mentioned this before, but it's just on my mind because I was telling that story. I had a playthrough where, near the beginning, things in the Woodfall Temple didn't exactly go smoothly for me. And come the time I was doing the Goron quest to like get Darmani's mask and all that, most of the stuff with the Goron Elder and the Sun took place during the final hours. And I gotta say, that whole section with the final hours music, it gets really emotional. Like, that music just amplifies that whole part of the game so well. We're missing one stray fairy.
I know where it is. I just don't know the quickest way to get to it. Let's see now. I think if I go back...
And again, I forgot to mention this, but I feel like it goes without saying there's a feather statue at the entrance to this temple in the remake. I feel like at this point I don't really need to say that at all.
Nah. No, it would be quicker to go this way, I think.
Yeah. Also, another one I forgot to mention, also a feather statue at the beginning of the bottom of the well. And I believe there's one right in front of the door to the ancient castle of Ikana. I forgot to mention those as well.
Yeah.
I basically forgot all the feather statues in this region. I didn't forget them, I just forgot to mention them. Yeah. I remember they were there, I just forgot to say anything.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not even noon of the second day yet.
Yeah, we did things quite on schedule, as I think.
Yeah. Like I said, this is about how long the temple itself took me. I just spent a long time looking for that last stray fairy.
Well, luckily, I know where the last one is. Oh, damn, I messed up, I think.
Ooh.
Just barely. Alright.
Clutch.
We call that game sense. Alright. Past this room it should be in. Yep.
Yep, this room.
There you are, my pretty. We got all of them now. Time to warp the heck out of here.
Warp the heck out of
of
Dodge.
Course, before we end this episode, we have to end with the last Great Fairy visit. Now that we have all these guys collected. Be pretty, you know, jerkish to, like, end it off before doing that, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta do it this way. But yeah, overall not too bad, other than my, my derpiness at the, beginning of,
Yeah, I think it'll be quicker to just warp back, yeah.
Yeah, obviously I'm gonna warp. I just hit the wrong button. It's very nice to not have this land cursed anymore and, you know, doing at least a little better than before.
Indeed.
Oh, look at that. Be like another entrance to the castle if we even had that ability. Anyway. Look at what we have in here.
I think you did the Great Fairy voices.
Not all of them. They're not the same character. Come on now.
Oh, compassionate young one, I am the Great Fairy of Kindness. Thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. As thanks, I will grant you the Great Fairy Sword. Got the Great Fairy Sword, set to sea, with black roses etched into it. The Great Fairy Sword is the most powerful of all blades.
Second most, but we'll talk about that another time.
Come see me whenever you are overcome with weariness.
This is a C item because, unlike in Ocarina of Time, they didn't really have the menu organized the same way. So you could like have different swords equipped. So it's a C button item in this, but it's overall not too bad. Just hit the C button, you know, to use this sword.
It's like the big Goron sword from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, quite has a long reach and is pretty solid.
Yeah. Stronger than the Gilded Sword.
Yeah,
But there's still one blade that tops even it.
Yeah, however, you can't use your shield while using this, so... You know, that's the one draw. Get it, draw your sword.
Yeah.
Anyway, after that long episode, after another long episode, we are going to end it off here. We have accomplished quite a bit. We have freed this land of its cursed. And now we just have little bits of here to complete to just make everybody happy before we once again have to reset time and stuff and try and stop that Skull Kid at some point. See you guys then.